Hello everybody, this is Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I'm coming to you all today with a Yarncrafters chat. Today is going to be pretty laid back. I have two projects that I'm working on. One you've seen before. One I haven't shown, I have not shown it to you, but I did show the materials in an old haul video. And so I started working on that. And I also have a small, really small, small haul from the Veterans Day coupons and just a couple things from that. Lastly, I wanted to talk about a couple of other like little projects. Well, they're not little projects, but they're going to be projects that will be done over time and in little small increments. And so it's really going to be a very chatty video. I wanted to just come on and talk to you all because things have been nuts. And so I've been rushing on to just share and get that out there and not had an opportunity to, pardon me. Okay, sorry about that. And so I haven't had an opportunity to just sit and talk. So this is going to be one of those uber long videos, I'm sure. And if it's not, then my bad. And if it is, you have been warned. I wanted to just kind of talk to you all. I had some things going on. And I've been sharing some stuff with some of my subbies by email. And it's been pretty good to just get some feedback and just chat. Just hang and chat. So this is definitely one of those videos where you can get your current project and you can grab you something to drink. I am drinking today from a mug that I received from a swap. I love this mug. And it is a unique blend, I believe, of, I think it's a green tea. It doesn't say, but it has chamomile, lemon, and peppermint. And mint. Very, very, very good. So this is one of the ones from a swap as well. So I will have my tea. I have plenty of things to show you. We are going to chat. So if this is something that you're interested in sticking around for, this will be a opportune time to press pause. Go grab your tea or your coffee. Go grab your project and come on back and hit the play button and we can get it in. I'll see you all in a bit. So I'm Dana with the Freedom Please channel and essenceofme.com. I, first of all, cannot neglect to show you all what I am wearing today. And if I was one of the many bloggers on YouTube that did outfits of the day, which I love to watch, but I'm just not that trendy, I would show that today I am wearing my Imagine When shawl that I worked on forever. It was done in the Madeline Tosh in the color Duchess. I received a skein of it from a swap. Then I purchased a second skein from Paradise Fibers. And then I purchased the final skein from my local yarn store, which is Park Avenue Yarns. So this is it. Today when I put this on, I'm in Houston. We are getting a little bit of chilly weather from a cold front. My husband was taking me out to lunch for Veterans Day. I am a veteran, so happy Veterans Day to all of my fellow veterans. And we went to lunch at this new place that is near our home. And we kept driving past it saying we would go and check it out, and we just never have. So he took me there for lunch. I just decided, you know what, I'm going to grab my shawl just in case. It was still in my container, so it kind of smelled a little bit like I'm a hamster from that cedar insert. But I'm always cold in restaurants, so I thought it would be perfect to wear. And it was perfect because it started raining, and as soon as the rain let up, the cold front came in and we were still out. because we're going to make some stops at Joann's as well as Half Price Books, which I'm going to show you. And I just felt like fabulous in this shawl. Like, not to toot your own horn, but it's like a beep beep moment. And it's because you get the full feel of the yarn, and the yarn is so soft. While I was knitting with it, I loved knitting with it. This was my first time knitting with the Madeline Tosh, and so I'm just happy. I'm so happy. And the color, which I find very interesting, is in pictures as well as against this black. It looks more purple than when it's not on anything or on a lighter tone. It looks more burgundy. And so, and of course, we've talked about this backdrop, and I have an adjustment coming hopefully soon. But against this backdrop, you can almost see the purple. It looks like it's a cross between the two. So I'm loving this. Now, what I did not do to this, and I told you all this is a chatty video. What I did not do to this is I have not blocked it. And maybe this is something that you all can put in the comment section. I can't wrap my brain around, I know why to block, but to me, I don't understand, like, when you block, okay, this is for my veterans or anybody that can answer, you know, I'll listen. When you block, I understand that it helps to kind of just correct stitches. It also helps to ensure your measurements, like it can square off your sides, straighten off your lines, all of that. But then when you wash your project again, do you block it again? That's the part I don't get. Up until now, what I've done is I've only what I would consider hard block when I'm doing swatches. I don't, and I think I've only done one shawl. I tend to not block my shawls because up until this date, a lot of them have been in garter stitch. So it makes it more squishy, and I like the squishiness, and it makes it nice and warm. So I've never really blocked it. And also because, like, with this, I mean, having the edge being completely straight would do absolutely nothing for it. I do believe I would get a lot more size out of it. But for now, it works fine. I've also blocked my sweater, but the way that I blocked it, I didn't lay it out. I just put it on a hanger and let the natural gravity of it drying block it that way, because I thought that would be a lot more realistic to what I would do when I wear it and clean it and, you know, dry it and put it back in my closet. So I would love to know what you do with that. And that was totally not on my list to talk about, but I was thinking about that as I put this on. This is the first time I have had an opportunity to wear it because I finished this in the summer. And so, yes, I'd love to know that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is show you what I'm working on. One is going to be an update. And I hope you all are well and that this video finds you well. I also want to say hello to all of my new subbies. As of the date of making this video, I think it's been an additional 100 or so of you that have been added since the last Yarncrafters chat. So welcome and hello. Hello, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the Trillion. What I am learning, okay, this yarn, and I'm going to try my best to tell you all every time I show an update because I cannot assume that you've been through all of them, and I don't mark which projects I'm working on in the box, so I'm just going to tell you, and that'll just save us later, okay? It's with Morning Glory Finger Paints Cherry Tree Heel. This is a yarn that I received from my yarn box. I believe it was in May 2014, and this is taking on a life of its own. My wonderful update is that I'm finally onto the second skein. This is actually long enough to where I could have just went ahead and finished it off, and it would have been a little shallow, but it would have been nice to wrap around. What I decided is I love this yarn. I love the feel of it. I love the colorway. The fact that it's in garter, it just has a really nice texture to it. So I'm going to just keep knitting it. I've been knitting this thing since Mother's Day. Yes, since Mother's Day. So it's like, my goal is just to finish it by the next Mother's Day, because the needle is so small and it's taking forever, and I just knit it in between projects, so I'm not in a big hurry. So yeah, but here's my update, and I have this really cute little stitch marker that I received from a swap as well. This little bunny, you see the little bunny, and it matches. It's a little purple bunny. So I have that. I'm on my last skein. It's the Trillion. I said that the author, it's JoJo something or another. I do have a project page for it if you follow me on Ravelry. So that is one. The second project that I am working on, I'm going to show you the picture, is this Madison poncho. I purchased this as a gift to myself in a kit from Willow Yarns, and I started it. And since it was a kit, it's actually in that color, this red. It is done on really large, size 13 needles. And this is what I have so far. Now, with this lighting and this backdrop, it's hard to tell. It's a really bright red. I don't know why. This is okay. But this is the first time me using this yarn as well. It's called Willow Yarns Down. It's a bulky weight. But what's interesting is that the yarn is not necessarily like a circle. It's almost like it's flat, and it has a really slight sheen to it. So the fact that it has a flat surface catches the light. It in person, it has a real nice luster to it. In pictures, it seems like it catches the light and it almost whites it out, which is weird. But it's extremely soft, and it's going really fast. I'm hoping to have this poncho done pretty quick. This was kind of like an in-between project because I have some other ones coming up, and so that's my other project. The first thing that I want to talk about as a topic before I move on to the mini haul is I always see people doing works in progress and what they're currently working on, and I like sharing that as well. And I'm always interested in knowing, are you a knitter or a crocheter who does one project at a time? Like you do one, you finish it, you go on to the next. Or are you like me in that you have several projects going on at one time? I think that someone asked me about how do you do that? And I found that over the past few months that it's been really beneficial because it keeps me from being bored, and also because I found that when I knit a lot with the really small needles, I can tense up and it causes my shoulders to get sore, and when my shoulders get sore, it makes it uncomfortable to knit. And so I found that when I have I tend to have at least two projects going at once, one on smaller needles, and I consider small needles anything US 6 and below, and then I have one on larger needles, and that's usually anywhere up to, so the largest I've done is size 15, US 17. And then I will typically have a crochet project going on too, and I didn't bring that over, but I told you all about it, the crochet prayer shawl that I had on the back of my chair in my old videos. I'm expanding that, and so that is the crochet project that I'm working on And so that's kind of how I balance several projects at once. And the way that I pick them up and put them down, it really just depends on how much time I have and whether I need a project to be mobile. That small trillion can go just about anywhere, especially now that I have it down to only having one skein that I'm working with, because it can fit just about in any bag because it scrunches up really well. This poncho, I'm nearing the end of being able to kind of easily carry it around. But the good thing about it is that the skeins are really small. They're only less than 70 yards. And so it's a real small skein. So they travel easily. Like, that's good car knitting, but not if I want to get out somewhere and I'm waiting somewhere. I don't think I wouldn't take that because it just is uncomfortable or it's just not as feasible. So that's how I do that. And that was really to answer someone's question. And I tried to explain a little bit in email, and people want to know, like, why would you have so many? And sometimes I just got to be honest. It is exciting to just start a new project when you have a new yarn and you go on the hunt and you find a project that you want to work on and you just want to get it started. I've tried to slow that up a little bit just so that I wouldn't have so many outstanding projects. And it makes it difficult when I have a rush project coming or someone needs something or I want to make somebody a prayer shawl or something like that. And I feel bad when I have. If I go over 4 at one time, they constantly run around in my head and I feel as if I have too many things incomplete. And so I try my best to stick the 3 now, and are probably going to be it. I'll finish this, and then I have another one on larger needles that'll be going up. As of right now, I'm not counting the trillion, though, because I know that I'm not going to finish that probably anytime soon. If I do, I'll be extremely surprised. But that's not a priority project. That one is just purely for the love of knitting with that yarn. Those colors just make me happy. So I am not rushing it at all, even though I would love to wear it this winter. So anyways, that's that. Now what we're going to do is get to the little haul. Today is Veterans Day. I received quite a few coupons from Joann's. And I didn't have anything specifically in mind except for one thing that I knew I wanted to purchase. And I had one coupon for them for 60% off. Then I just looked in general, like a soft look, because I didn't want to purchase yarn. And because I had my veterans discount of 20% for today. So whenever I have that discount, I love to look at their sales items, because you get that additional 20% off of even sale items. So what I did with that is looked at some things just very loosely and generally. So I didn't look at yarn, but I was looking at accessories and I was looking at books. And the reason why I was looking at books were for a particular reason. And I'll tell you that in a second, but I'm going to show you what I got. At Joann's, I purchased this book, Not Your Granny's Grannies, and it's crochet motifs in every shape and size. This was originally $11.95, and I paid, let's see, the sale price was $8.36, and then I received an additional 20% off of that. So it's like $6 and something, a little under $7. And I got this for a specific reason. I'll share that in a little bit, but I'm going to show you a little bit of what's in here. I haven't showed you all in a while, but my daughter crochets and she does a lot of grannies, different granny square blankets, and she's working on 2 of them right now. And so when I saw this, I thought this would be a great idea just to get some ideas. And then I also liked a couple of the designs in here for me because it was something that I thought was really, well, that was different. And I can finish going through the last bit of my acrylic yarn that's in my stash. And so grannies to me are always good picks because it works up really fast. And I'll show you that in a second. But here's the first book. Then I got, I'm going to see. Oh, I'll show you all when I'm going to keep that page open. The next thing that I got was this book, and it's Weekend Winners. It's Cozy and Quick Afghans to Knit, and it's by Lion Brand. This book was also $11.95, so I got this for about the same $6. And let me see if they have an overview. Oh, they do. Here are some of the pieces that are in here. And this is another book that it was actually, I think, 2 pieces that's in here that I really liked. And I'll show you the ones that I really liked in those 2. The next place that I went to was Half Price Books. Right now, I'm going to try my best to get this video up today. They are having that week sale that they usually have around this time of the year. I think they have it like twice a year, where today you get 40% off, and tomorrow and the next day I think it's 20%, and then it goes, and then Sunday it's 50% off. And so I went there and I purchased 2 books. One is this one. It's Scarves, Shrugs, and Shawls. Now, this has these designs in here, but this is not actually why I bought it. I got 40% off, and that made this book $5.99. This is why I bought this book. I'm going to show you. I'm looking for I saw it. Oh, here it is. They have an entire section on how to wear the pieces, including a couple of them on knotting. Look at these. Oh, it's hard to see. I'm going to hold it. And I liked this one as well, showing how to different ways to tie and knot a shawl. And here's another one, like a basic knots. That's cute, isn't it? Okay, and then they also had some finishing techniques that I liked the pictures in these. Sometimes, even when, and I thought this was just gorgeous. Look at this with beads. It's beads all down the front. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to see. There. And sometimes you will find these similar styles of, there's only so many ways to finish off stuff, and a lot of it's the same in different books, but I love looking, when you have stuff like this that I would buy a book for styling purposes or in order to use what you've already made. But I also like when they have really good, clear pictures on finishing techniques. Like I still I've done the Kitchener stitch, I've done the mattress stitch, but I haven't memorized how to do it. So usually, so that I won't mess up the project right when I get to the end, I like to have something that's a really clear picture to have beside me as I finish the piece up. Because I'm a person that sometimes I take so long to knit stuff that when I get to the end, I get antsy. So I have to slow myself down to make sure that I finish strong. And so having really clear pictures are helpful in that. Another book that I purchased, and it's not a knit book, is The 1 Year Praying Through the Bible. and it's just broken up by the days. And I bought this, number one, because it was $5.99 and it was a book that I was already interested in getting. But another reason is because it's done by the One Year Bible, and I love their Bible. I've used that several times, and I'm planning to read through it again in next year. So I thought this would be a great companion for that. They even reference the reading, some of the reading for like across the two books. So I thought that would be great. And that was only $5.99. So I went ahead and I got that. Now, those were all the items that no, it wasn't. The last thing that I got, I'm going to move this. This is an item that I have been eyeballing and waiting. I have not been doing a lot of shopping at Joann's because I have not been buying a lot of yarn. So I have been looking, but keeping my eye out on big things that I've been wanting to get from there. And this was one of those items. And one of the coupons that I had was 60% off. And this item was not on sale. So it was a perfect purchase. And here it is. It is a caddy, a needle caddy. You see that? And I haven't opened it all the way and cut the pieces, but it opens, and I guess I could cut it, but I don't want to cut it yet. I'm not going to cut it yet. But it opens really wide. It has these different pockets for your needles. What I want it for is when I move from room to room, like I do a lot of knitting in my bedroom, and so I can move it to the living room and just keep my projects stored in here upright. And because of my coupon, I got this for $10 when it was normally $25. And so that was the last big purchase that I got for my haul. Okay. So that was all of those items, which it wasn't much. It wasn't much. I just was going to look for very specific things. Now to the books. Yes, we are running along. Now to the books. Have you ever heard of conceptual knitting? If you are watching this, you probably have. I've even seen people do the same thing with crochet. I think she's the inventor of it. I don't remember her name, but I first came across it because she did a sky scarf. And the concept is that you are making a scarf, and every day you knit 2 rows across and back, and you dictate the color that you knit for that day based on the appearance of the sky the day that you knit. I believe you have somewhere between 6 to 8 different colors of yarn. And what you do is you knit with 2 of them at a time. So you may knit with a white and a gray if you have a cloudy day, or a baby blue and a white if you have a very clear day, something like that. And she gives you different options. And on her site, she also has kits. And what I'll do is I'll put a link to the site where I first saw it on the accompanying blog post, and that'll probably be it because I'm not going to do a long post on this because it's kind of impromptu. But anyways, I saw that. I loved it, but I didn't want to knit a scarf, and I didn't want to knit a scarf based on the sky, even though I thought it was like really pretty. But the idea of the conceptual knitting was just sticking with me. I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. And then I kept just keeping an eye out. I saw a few people on Ravelry that did different variations of it. One person did a blanket, and they did it for I didn't say this. You knit the 2 rows every day for 1 year. And so basically the sky when you kind of have your weather for a year. I seen someone do the same thing, but they did it with a blanket for their child who was graduating. I thought that was a great idea. And they did the same thing, knit 2 rows, because you go out and back with the colors every day for a year. And even some people consolidated it in that they would have a chart or a spreadsheet, and they would color in what the weather would look like for the day. And then when they would sit down, they would just knit up all the rows that they needed to knit up in order to keep their scarf and their chart aligned. I then was at my local yarn shop and saw someone doing a similar thing, but they were doing it as a scarf, and they did it based on the temperature. So if it was in the 60s, she used a certain color. If it was in the 70s, 80s, etc. And so it was so awesome because I think she started in the spring and it went through the summer, and now it was starting to cool off. And so you could see the transitions in the scarf. Now, the only thing about those scarves is they are like uber long, because that means you have over 700 rows. No, you have more than, well, yeah, over 700 rows if you do 2 rows per day. And so, but when I saw the lady doing it with a color, I just was like, there's got to be another way for me to do something similar. And I was thinking about it in the sense of my prayer shawls. And I decided that I wanted to do a prayer blanket. I've shared some of my prayer shawls before. I haven't shared them in a while because I haven't been making a lot of them. I knew that this year I wanted to do a lot of challenging projects for myself. And I knew that this year, because we're coming to the end of the year, that I wanted to challenge myself as a knitter. So I have not done any complicated projects or any even big projects for my crochet all year, except for when I did the granny blanket, and I've been doing like granny square blankets, things like that for the kids, but nothing that was difficult. So all this comes to say, once I saw that, it finally hit me that I wanted to do a prayer blanket. And so then it was the thing of how. And yeah, that's why this was going to be chatty. Okay, so here's what I did. I went to my stash, and a part of this whole thing this year was working through my stash. I've been doing really good with that, but I had a lot of red heart yarn that I've had for a while, where every time Joann's, or if they had something on sale and I had extra coupons, I would just get a couple of skeins of it. So I had a case full of it. Now, the downside of it, a lot of it was that I only had maybe 1 or 2 of each color. And so that was a downside, because usually in order to make something with it, I had to buy more, and hence the problem. I gave quite a bit of it to my daughter, which is why she's been able to knit up some blankets. And I gave her a lot of the lighter tones because those are her favorite tones. And then I still had some that I wanted to make. And I thought, if I could do this prayer blanket and use up a lot of this stash, it would be fantastic. And what I would do is not do this conceptual blanket based on a certain number of days, but until the yarn runs out. Now, I'm telling you all this, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do it like fully, but that's what I'm going to work on. So what I'm going to do now, I'm looking at the time, okay, is I went through my colors and I started thinking, and I was thinking about a scripture in Corinthians when it says, I wrote it down because, and I'm going to tell you the colors too. In Corinthians, it was, there are 3 things that will endure: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. And that's 1 Corinthians 13:13. And I began to think about love, and then the faith and the hope, and then endurance. And I started thinking about colors to associate with it. And I was going to just go like with the traditional thing. I mean, you think love, and what color do you think of? Red. And so I wanted to do a little bit of research. So I went online and I Googled and found that sometimes people use green to associate with love. Like not traditionally, because I think red would still be it, but before we started associating love with like Valentine's Day and marketing, green was thought of for love. And so in the end, I have hope is orange, love is green, faith is blue, endurance is red, and then I added two more colors to it, which is purple, and I'm doing that to represent myself, and just because that's one of my favorite colors. And then for God, or the triune God, I have an amber yellow or some sort of yellow. And so I'm going to show you what I pulled from my stash. I don't know. It's a Here's the basket. Now, if I remove these top ones, now some of these are used, some of them are new, some of them I have very little of. Oh, that looks pretty. I don't even know if this all really matches. I don't even know how this all is going to turn out, but I got an idea. I also have a couple of colors in here that I did not mention because, where is it? Because I haven't decided on the pattern that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to show you those two books. But I knew that in the past, when I had something that involved my scrap yarn blankets, that I did really well with varying colors that did not quote unquote match if I had some sort of grounding color. I usually prefer black, but I thought black would be a bad idea with this concept, and it would probably bring it too far down, especially when I do have this blue, which is a really, I love this blue, but this blue, and I also have a couple of greens, and so I didn't want black for that reason. So what I decided to do is I have this tan, which is linen, and then I have this, which is Aaron, and I picked these two because it may be one or the other, I'm not sure, but because I found that these two colors are available year-round, because with Red Heart, regardless of where you go. So if I needed to get more of them, it would be better. Some of these other colors are colors that I tend to pick up in the fall. Excuse me, in the fall, and so I know that once this starts going that I may not be able to find them because I don't anticipate that this will be done like really fast. So with that said, I'm going to show you the colors. Like I have the blue. Oh, the last thing. The other thing that I did to hopefully help me to marry the colors and not make it boring, which I doubt it would be, but still, in order to use what I already had, I am marrying, like for the green color, which is love, I have different shades of green. So I don't have 3 skeins all the same shade. I have 3 greens that are different shades. So like here's the example, since I said green. I have this green. I have this green. And I have this green. And then for, I'm going to sand, for the red, I have this red, and then I have, oh, it's not in here. I have like the cherry red. For the gold, I have this, and I have this. Ooh, there, this. For the, oh, and I also have another of the blue, and blue. So I tried to have two, a darker and, a darker and not necessarily like a light, oh, excuse me, a light of the color, but something to give a variation. So the red I also did, excuse me, here. Uh-oh. See? And that is like a pink, and this is a rose. Is this rose? Country rose and light raspberry. Okay, so that's my idea. I anticipate that it's going to take me about, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year, maybe, I don't know. My log cabin is taking me a while, and I'm not rushing on that, and that's a project that I don't count, but that's something I work on fairly often. But this, I'm going to do it during prayer time, and so I'm going to go by the finished size. I'm nearly certain that this is not going to be enough yarns to finish the entire project. I'm going to go by the end size, and I want it to be a nice size throw, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to put a stipulation on that. If I need to, I would probably end up purchasing yarn, but I have still a little bit more in my stash that I don't think that's going to be necessary. If it is, it's probably going to be just for like those contrast colors. So with the patterns, I had one pattern in mind that I've had in my high on my wish list, so much so that it's been in my cart for several months, that I've been trying to find the appropriate project to work on. So I have that. But then I found these books. And so I'm going to show you in each book the pattern that caught my eye that I think would be perfect for this project. So out of the knit book, it was this. And this is called Village Square Afghan. What I like about this, and I'm going to show it one more time. What I like about this is done in one piece. That's another thing that I think would be a big consideration for this type of project. And I wanted it to be an all-in-one piece, and it's not going to have to travel. I would only work on it at home, and I would only work on it during my prayer time, which is typically in the morning, so maybe about an hour. I wouldn't knit the whole hour, probably 30 minutes. So I wanted something to where the rows were not extremely long, and this actually looks as though it cuts off and you rotate and knit another section. I also thought that it would be really good for the different colors that I have. So the different sections probably would not work up the same at all, but it would make it so that in the end it would all blend. So that one is high on the probability of the pattern that I would use. The other pattern that I found, which was in the crochet book, is this. I just love it. The fact that the granny square is turned sideways and then you work on the sections. Now this is not, the bulk of it is worked in one piece, but then the outer is worked up separately. Like there's a couple of motifs that you have to make, but they're not really big. So, but the bulk of it is in one piece. And this is called the Country Afghan. Now this, I think, will work up really fast. I'm almost hoping that I can maybe use the same yarn and do one of both. And if I did that, I would just probably make the knit one first and then the crochet one second. Because with this, I don't know how, I guess you could be. I guess you could be really random with it. I mean, it just would be like a traditional granny square, just you would go around once. And this one would probably be way easier. And so I didn't mean for this to be that long, but this video. But that's what my idea is. That's the yarn that I'm going to use. Those are the patterns that I'm looking at. Because I bought these, I'm almost thinking that I won't get the other one, but I don't know because I really want to get the other pattern too. I really like it, but I want with that pattern to make a bedspread. And I don't know if I wanted to do, I don't know. Any feedback would be great. In the end, I know I'm going to start this, and I'm looking forward to it. I do quite a bit of knitting and crocheting during my prayer time, and so I thought it would be pretty cool to do something as an ongoing project. And I have an idea of how I would assign the colors by day, and that's why I purchased this the prayer book. Because as you go through, I'm just going to read the devotion after my my morning reading, my Bible reading, read the devotion, and then just pick out one of those words that is just standing out to me for that morning, and then pick the color that's associated with it and knit that or crochet that for the day. And that's the way that I'm going to take that conceptual aspect of it and pull it into the blanket using one of the patterns or both of them over the progression of a year. I would really like to be able to start these up and then by the end of next year maybe have one of both. And who knows? Because I think that crochet one will go super fast. I don't know. So this video was longer than I anticipated. But I hope that you have enjoyed my chatter. Let me know what you are working on and if you have any special projects going on. Lastly, are you making holiday gifts? That has been one of the biggest questions that I've had for other people that I know that are knitting. Are you one of those people that loves to hand make your gifts? And if so, are you making gifts and what are you making? Or are you kind of like me, where in the beginning you made handmade gifts and people don't realize how long and how much time you put into those gifts that I don't make handmade gifts anymore, except for the little ones. Every couple of years, I like to make them a new blanket or something. And so let me know. I think that's it. I think I've talked more than enough. Didn't even take a sip of my tea, which is probably why I got all choked up. So thank you all for joining me. It is always great to spend time and to share with you. I look forward to interacting with you all in the comment section. I will be back soon because it's almost time for me to receive my yarn box. And I'm working on this other project, and so hopefully I will have another either pattern review. This pattern is so easy. I don't know if I do a pattern review, but that may be a reason why I should share it, because this probably will be a great Christmas gift because it's so simple, so simple. And what else do I have? There's something else. Swaps. But those won't probably come in until after the new year because we're still waiting to be paired. So that won't be in probably till the new year. So that's it. Stay warm. Enjoy yourself as you knit and crochet in these cooler months, especially for those of you that are in the areas that are already getting some pretty harsh weather. We are going to have a cold winter, which would be a great time to just sit back and stay under your yarn by your fireplace. So, have a fantastic day. I look forward to interacting with you all in the comment sections. You can always find me at essenceofme.com. I do respond to comments as well as emails if you have questions, and we'll take it from there. Take care and have a fantastic day. And I will see you all hopefully sooner than later. Goodbye. I decided, I don't know why, every time I start recording, like I feel like my face itches. I don't know what it is. I'm so weird. Okay.